Welcome to the Steelers Realm Podcast. And now, here are the boys of Steelers Realm.
Good evening, Steelers Nation, as we are back with you on a Victory Monday for the first post-game edition of the Steelers Realm for the 2024 season, as the Steelers beat the Atlanta Falcons 18-10. There was some good stuff, there was some bad stuff, but I'm glad to share that with you guys, and I'm going to bring in some of my co-hosts. I'm going to start with Kitch. Kitch, what's up, man? How you doing?
There you go.
There you go.
Hey, man, it is a great Victory Monday. I have never been happier to be wrong. I mean, yeah, sure, it would have been nice to get some TDs, but who needs a touchdown whenever you have the Wizard of Boz?
The Wizard of Boz, man, showed up in full force. Here's Hijacker just bringing himself in.
Yeah, I'm sneaking in here, just like Boz sneaked it over the goalpost.
He just hijacking it.
Yep, get in here.
Now, what these people don't know is, we've been live for 2 minutes now. We were actually live for the last 5 minutes. Hijacker just didn't hit record, so we were just sitting here having a show without anybody watching us.
Hey,
I was just messing with you.
We could have gone without it. Like, hey, it didn't happen if you don't acknowledge it.
I've rehearsed my opening like 4 times before the actual.
We're well prepared. We'll tell you that.
But again, guys, we're gonna go over this. We're going to go over this win. We're going to go over our predictions. We're going to do a segment of the good, the bad, the ugly, and just some instant reactions of what we saw. There's some big news today as we got our new punter because Cam Johnson is now officially out for the season with a knee injury. And we brought in a new old face that plays in the secondary. So I'll be interested to see what everybody's thoughts are about that. Guys, let's just start with our instant reactions. We'll start with you, Hijacker. What was your instant reaction to this win?
It was a gritty win. We pulled it out somehow, some way. 6 field goals. I don't know how we did that, but Boswell was the money from the distance. He had 3 field goals from 50 plus. Defense really shut them down the second half. We'll get to that later. But yeah, I really liked what I saw, given it was the first week of the season. Hopefully we can build on this and do better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to agree. That defense was stout in the second half and kind of just kept us afloat while the offense tried to figure some things out. Kitch, what'd you think?
Well, my instant reaction is at first, I did not feel good about this win at all. But the more I looked at the stats, the more I looked at everything, especially in comparison to last year, I'd say it's a pretty fantastic starting point. Biggest issue, obviously, is we got to actually score touchdowns. But, I mean, hey, Boz setting an NFL record for 50-plus yarders made in a game is pretty awesome. And also tying a career best from 2 other games of 6 field goals, one of them actually being a playoff win where he set the postseason record against the Chiefs in 2017.
Yeah, it's safe to say Boz is definitely one of the best kickers in the National Football Team or National Football League that gets absolutely zero love when it comes to the national scale.
Underrated.
So it's good to see Boz. I've seen him on Good Morning Football and stuff, them showing, just how valuable he was yesterday. My biggest takeaway from this game was that of development. Both on the player side and the coaching side. Like Mike Tomlin, I give him a lot of credit, man. This team was ready to play yesterday. They didn't come out. Yeah, the offense came out a little bit flat there, that opening drive, but the defense was there from the beginning to the end. They were exactly who we thought they were, not maybe so much the national people thought that they were. Now, I don't know if that's a tribute to nutrition, that everybody is healthy week 1, and we see the best out of all of them this initial week. We'll see how the wear and tear and the grind of the season will maybe put a hit on that. But JPJ, excellent game. Excellent game to take and neutralize their best weapon, vertical weapon on offense. Great to see. Didn't let Bijan Robinson take over the game from the backfield. Neutralized Kirk Cousins. I mean, I don't really have a whole lot to complain about. And everybody knows how big of a Justin Fields fan I am. I saw a little bit of growth and development with him. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit later on. I don't want to have a long-winded discussion right now with it. But very, very encouraging to say the least for week 1, for things to come about. So we'll start with the good guys. This is our good, bad, the ugly segment here. The good, Kitch, I guess you can't really say anything but the defense and the good part, right?
Actually, I mean, I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball that you're going to appreciate, Freight Train. I'm going to actually go with Justin Fields. Because of the fact that he didn't have a crazy flashy performance, but he had a high completion percentage, no turnovers. After some fumbled snaps to begin early on, he stayed poised, stepped up in the pocket, made some plays. There are a couple times he got a little skittish and ran, but he already looked more developed than he did in Chicago.
Well, yeah, he didn't feel like he had to be the guy to make the play. He let everything come to him. The biggest thing for me was the turnovers. Didn't force anything that didn't need to happen. Okay. And that is what essentially, I'm going to put in quotations because everybody knows how I feel, of a backup quarterback. That's exactly to the T what a backup quarterback is supposed to do. Manage the game, put your team in the best position to win a football game. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, going off of that, I liked how we were on offense about 35 minutes. The defense was on about 25 minutes. So we had a great time of possession that really set us up for success during this game.
Well, yeah, that's what we've been screaming about the past 2 years was we weren't winning the time of possession battle in these football games. And when you want to say you're a running football team, a physical football team, that's what they do. They have the ball for extended drives and wear you out, wear you down. And that's what we saw. But back to the defense, 0 points and only 54 yards allowed in the second half of the football game.
Hell yeah.
And an important note to add to that is their only touchdown, and the only touchdown of the game, happened on a blown coverage after a play that shouldn't have been called back in the first place.
It should have been a fumble recovery.
Yeah, it should have been a sack fumble.
Yeah.
Even the ref went up to TJ right before half and said, "Dude, I'm sorry, I blew that call."
Right. Yeah. But you know what? And I, for one, I need to say this. I've been saying and harping on that I thought our defensive line was questionable. I thought it was the weakest part of our team. There is some blown gap coverages that I think they need to shore up, but the defensive line did not play bad yesterday.
They look better than I expected them to.
You saw Hayward pushing, making some plays. Benton, who I feel like was barely on the field. Like, I guess it's better if you're not heard of than heard of, because that means you're doing bad if we hear about you all the time, usually. Ogunjobi was making plays. Loudermilk came in. Bontravious Adams probably had one of his better games as a Pittsburgh Steeler yesterday.
I love Monty. He is underrated.
I definitely have to give the defensive line a little bit of credit. I thought they played very good yesterday. Just got to shore up a couple things. Linebackers were exactly how we envisioned. Patrick Queen missed a couple tackles that I'd like to see him maybe make, especially over in the backfield. And then the secondary guys. The secondary came to play yesterday, to say the least.
Yeah, they looked good. What was it? 2 picks they had? Should have been 3 if Jackson held on to that one earlier in the game, but still 2 great interceptions.
Well,
Jackson and Elliott had them.
You got to give Jackson some credit, though, for bouncing back after that rough start. Because, like, anybody could have got stuck in their own head and just started blowing coverages after dropping an easy pick like that.
Yeah. Well, and he knows what us Steelers fans would have been coming at him after the game if he would have let Ray McCloud take over that football game like it seemed like it was happening there for like,
got a little concerning.
Like 5 minutes. I'm like, why is Ray McCloud making all these plays?
Who was it in the pregame that said Ray was going to be a problem? I remember one of us said it.
It was TA. Yeah.
Damn it, stop being right, TA.
Yeah, well,
he caught one in like quadruple coverage somehow. He just threw it up.
Guys, careful giving TA too much credit. He's going to balloon, and the buttons on his overalls are going to pop. So,
TA's the only one right so far.
Yeah, we can't pump TA up too much.
Yeah, but you had 2 sacks, Watt and Montravius Adams. Watt should have definitely had more, but 2 of them got called back because of stupid ticky-tack penalties. 7 quarterback hits altogether. They made Kirk Cousins look uncomfortable, especially in that second half. 3 turnovers. Obviously, Watt with the fumble recovery and Elliott and Jackson with the picks. I thought, all in all, to sum this up, we took away their top players. We took away their top play options. They bend but didn't break with Robinson. You know, he made a couple good runs, some plays out of the backfield in the pass game, but all in all, it was kind of neutralized. You basically force him to throw the ball downfield. And then again, JPJ, a lockdown on Drake London. I think Drake London only had 1 completion against JPJ, and the other one came when he was out of the game. But we kept Drake London to 2 catches for 14 yards. I'll take that every single time.
Yeah.
So Kyle Pitts really wasn't a factor except on the 1 blown coverage where he got the touchdown, was really a non-factor. So
yeah, and that's part of the growing pains of the guy that was covering him too. Like, people forget that Beanie Bishop, like, he's a guy that came out of nowhere in camp to get this spot. We're going to have growing pains like that with him. He just happened to miss a coverage, again, on a play that shouldn't happen in the first place. So
Right. Which the Steelers, they'll get another body back there. I guess this is a good segue to one of the pickups.
Oh, yeah.
Our old buddy Terrell Edmonds has been re-signed. It will be they signed him off a practice squad. Can you believe our first round pick of a couple years ago is on a practice squad? But
yeah, I don't know.
but I'm a little bit excited to have him back just for a depth piece. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to come in here, be a starter, and play a big role. He's just going to come in, give some breathers, maybe play on some special teams. I think Terrell Edmonds has definitely gotten better at tackling. We don't need him in coverage because he's just not a cover guy. But he's
always been a good tackler.
Yeah, if you need an in the box safety, Terrell Edmonds fits that role perfectly. So I'm glad to have him.
I fully agree with that.
Yeah.
Last year.
Go ahead.
Last year, while we had him only playing box safety, he looked really good. Well, in that specific role.
Right. Yeah. Me too. I think so. And then they did bring in another punter. Hijacker, if you could look his name up, I dropped the ball.
I think
here.
it was Waitman or something.
Waitman. Corliss Waitman. Yes. He's going to come in. Actually, he has a pretty decent leg. I can see here he's got 103 career punts with a net average of 41.6, which it's not great, but it's doable, but has a gross average of 46.9. So if you can get up close to that 50 yards a punt, you're doing pretty good for yourself. So he's landed 31 punts inside the 20-yard line. That's what we're banking on, is because we are a field position type team. We got to win the field position battle. So I'm glad they brought Waitman in and not another run with Presley Harvin like I thought they were going to do.
Oh, I'm so glad they didn't bring back Presley.
Yeah, that could have been disastrous. But
I know you wanted him.
Yeah. So, but we'll move on here. We're going to put the bad in quotations because we have the offense in the bad section. But we're going to put it in quotations because not all of it was bad. So, Field steps in, learns that he's starting. I think he knew ahead of time, but we'll just say, for argument's sake, he found out the day of that he's starting, got the news from Russell Wilson. I think they just want to turn it into a raw thing. But they didn't score a touchdown. A lot of promising drives, some splash plays sprinkled in there. But all in all, it just ended in 3 points and not 7 points. So are you guys a little bit concerned about that? Or are you thinking, well, things will be different once Russ Wilson's back there?
I don't think it comes down to just the QB. Honestly, I think part of it is just that week 1 effect. Part of it is we had some, drive killing penalties, some bad calls, some just true penalties. Honestly, as far as us moving the ball, we look better than we did last year. So I just hope it's something we can build on and actually finish drives next week.
Yeah, it looked like we were able to move the ball a little, but we did have some penalties, as Kitch said, some real drive killers. But I think Russ, they can still run that similar type of offense, play action type. I don't know if he'll be as athletic as Fields, but he should be able to throw and get some guys some catches.
Well, see, and that's kind of what I was thinking. We're playing devil's advocate here. If Russ does play, we don't know how mobile he's going to be able to be with that calf injury. A lot of Fields' runs and extended runs and plays would probably be sacks with Russell Wilson back there. And that's what concerns me. Because honestly, and Justin admitted it in his postgame, they very easily could have finished yesterday without any sacks if Justin just threw the ball away. And he admitted it. He's like, those sacks are on me. I should have just thrown the ball and learned to play the next down. What concerns me is we finally got it where the offensive line, I feel, they got them moving forward, because the best thing to do with a young and inexperienced line is have them move forward before you start running pass protection plays. There's a comfortability factor there. And I thought that, Arthur Smith ran plays that helped the offensive line rather than hurt it. So it'll be interesting to see. Justin, 17 of 23 for 156 passing yards. Again, the 14 carries with 57 yards, passer rating of 91.9. I mean, I want him to stay in because I look at it this way. Russ, you had your chance. You got hurt. You blew it. He comes in, wins the game. Now I feel like if we switch it, now I almost have that week 1 vibe again, because I'm not sure what I'm getting from my quarterback. These guys have already started basically getting some chemistry. They played the whole game together. George looks great with Justin Fields right now. He's our most dynamic playmaker on offense. If he's comfortable, I'm comfortable. Now I'm just going to switch around and put Russ in. It feels like week 1 all over again.
I mean, honestly, I think if there's one game for Russ to be motivated for, though, it's this one coming up. I mean, we'll get to that more on Thursday.
Right.
But, I mean, long term, yeah, I would love to see Fields continue his growth and development. I don't think he's quite there yet. I think he needs a little more time to kind of marinate and get used to the system. He already has a great connection with Pickens. I was really happy to see that. I'm really hoping that, we get some more guys open when Rome comes back.
Yeah, that's the thing. They had no separation whatsoever with anybody not named George Pickens. There was no receivers were getting open. Freiermuth a couple times, made a couple plays, but those guys got to get separation, especially Calvin Austin, man. You're supposed to be the fastest guy on the field. Like, you need to get open. We need to use that. And then there was just a couple offensive play calls that I didn't like. I don't know what you guys thought of. Do not like the end around runs with George.
Oh, yeah, I was going to get to that. I hated that.
We need to scrap that play.
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, he was doing his best Matt Canada impression, and good job, dude. You nailed it. Just stop.
Yeah. I'm good with us not paying homage to Matt Canada. Like, I had to deal with it in the preseason. Now
we had to deal with it for years, dude.
Nuggets.
I don't want it again.
Like, can we just move on at this point? But another encouraging thing, guys, we'll wrap up this offensive portion. Pickens, 6 catches, 85 yards, 2 plays of a 40-yard catch, a 33-yard catch. It's good seeing him making the plays downfield, like we know and we've seen him play. But another encouraging thing, guys, is Najee is running like a man possessed that we saw yesterday. Helmet comes off. He just went like Super Saiyan and is running dudes over, like running with attitude. Yeah. And it's very, very good to see that with Najee, especially early on. I feel like we got that from Najee late in the season last year. The first part of the season, not so much. So I think that's an encouraging sign.
He's also playing a little more motivated. He's playing for a contract.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trying to get the bag as well as the Falcons kind of pissed him off.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he had that one run for 20 yards that looked he looked really good.
Yeah, I mean he stiff arm / like slung the guy along the sideline. Like that's good to see. That brings attitude. That tells me that this team is starting to figure out of building its identity early. They're trying to find it. And if our identity is Najee angry runs, I'll take it.
Hey, we're just getting back to that, old school smash mouth Steeler football, and I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Didn't see a lot of Jaylen Warren at all. I don't know if that had to do with his injury, his hamstring injury that he was coming off of. But surely I would think we have to see more of Jaylen Warren here in Denver.
It seemed like they're easing in there.
Yeah.
That would make sense. I was wondering why he wasn't getting too many snaps, but that makes sense. You don't want the guy hurt, so it's all on Naj and Cordero Patterson. I'd like to see Cordero get less touches, honestly, but
yeah,
something different. Use him in the pass game.
Yeah, there you go.
Use him in the pass
game. The guy started out as a wide receiver.
Yeah, until he gained 100 pounds. Maybe not 100 pounds.
We'll
give him 45 to 50. How about that?
Man.
But moving on here, we'll go into the ugly portion. Was officiating.
Oh.
I mean, ticky-tacky BS calls. They got George Pickens on that OPI and that 36-yard pass, calling it a push-off. Didn't look like much of a push-off. I see that every single game, every Sunday, Monday, Thursday. Doesn't matter. The guys are playing the ball that's in the air. It's just back and forth football. It's not like he shoved him away or anything like that. I thought that was ticky-tacky. Shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about that?
And it killed a drive.
Yeah.
It did kill a drive.
Yeah, ruined the drive. Yeah, his arms weren't extended, so I don't know why they called it. It was just a bad call.
And even that, if there was a push, it was a very little push, but we see every receiver in the league do that every play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was just them deciding, we're just
mono to mono.
This one.
They're going mono to mono for the football. That's all it is.
That's one of those times you got to let them play.
Mm-hmm. Then they had another one where he was down by contact on a 41-yarder. It could have been 50 plus. Najee's helmet getting ripped off. I guess they just had the blinders on that. The other one that I don't see on here was the penalty on. Sorry, I'm blanking here.
You mean on
Broderick Jones?
The
Broderick Jones play where he went to support.
He got ganged up on.
Yeah. And they called the offsetting penalties, and all he was doing was going over to defend his teammate. There was really no shoving. It was just talking smack to each other. But you're gonna neutralize that. There. Clearly, it was the Atlanta Falcons on that play. That was another killer. That we could have easily got a 15-yarder there to get us closer, which it should have been. But no, they negated it by saying Broderick did something that he didn't.
Well, yeah, I think that one we were like in the red zone on that one.
Yeah, it took us right out of it. Yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah.
And then in the no call on Cam Johnston's injury.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, I think they actually called something on us on that one.
Yeah, they did.
Called holding. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how.
Whether somebody's held or not, if you hit the punter, that's still a penalty. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's not like
it's blocked into the punter. It's still a penalty.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just moved to running into the kicker, not roughing the kicker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So either way, there should have been a flag there. Either way you look at it. And then obviously the Watt strip sack negated by offsides, which it was just TJ Watt doing his homework, being the Hall of Fame caliber player that he is, watching film and timed that snap up perfectly. And I think he just got in the backfield quicker than what the officials could handle. As all that was. He took him by surprise.
Yeah, after the fact, like TJ actually even came out and said that an official came up to him just before halftime and was just like, dude, I'm sorry, I blew that call. That was just a perfectly timed jump on the snap.
Yeah. I mean, you could not have timed that any better.
As soon as that ball twitched, he was gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as soon as he brought his head up, gone. Like I said, I think they were like, there's no way he could have possibly gotten here that fast without leaving early. Like, I think it was a knee-jerk reaction flag by the refs.
Oh, TJ Watt's so good that they just can't believe it.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. So, moving on, we'll go into our game day predictions. Only one of us had the Steelers winning this game. And it was TA. He had a wild score of 32-17, though. So he's only going to get a half point for that. Like, you can't say they're going to win, but put some outrageous score and get the full point. Like, can we agree about that? Like, you got to be somewhat close to the score, man.
Fair enough. Then again, nobody was going to predict Boz for the third time in his career kick 6 field goals in a game.
Right. Or Kirk Cousins to look like Nick Mullins. Like,
no, Kirk Cousins looked like primetime Kirk Cousins. I did not expect that out of a 1 o'clock window Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. But
that's why I picked us to lose.
Yeah. But in the same breath, I had the Falcons winning 28-13, so I guess I'm just as bad. JT had the Falcons 24-20, Hijacker 24-21, and Kitch, you had 23-13. So I guess when you come to go to the score, you were the closest one. So you're not going to get a half point, but you were close-ish on your prediction. Ish. So, but I think that's about it for us guys. We like to make these short and quick, these post-game responses, as you know, we're coming at you Monday. You've heard everything from everybody else. We're not going to beat it into the dirt. We just wanted to give you guys our reactions. It's a good reaction. I like these shows. Wins are easy to talk about. Last year was very painful because when we won, it felt like we lost.
Oh, sorry to interject, man, but one little speed round section we did forget. Our kind of our wild card of the game, like our player of the game.
Yeah. How could I'm the one that came up with that?
Yeah, it was your idea, man. So let's start with you.
Yeah. I'm going with JPJ. Joey Porter Jr. That's been my guy since day one. I knew he was going to be great. But just week in and week out against top wide receivers, all these top guys, these top paid wide receivers, he shuts them down. Drake London, 1 catch against Joey Porter this game. And everybody and anybody thought Drake London was going to be the guy this year. You're talking about a top 10, top 15 fantasy football pick, Drake London. And Joey Porter Jr. shut him down with 1 catch, made them one-dimensional. And that's how you beat football teams. Make them one-dimensional. And my hat's off to him, man. He keeps on doing it. You know, we keep saying this is going to be a tough matchup. This might be the one. Well, no, he doesn't. Goes out of the game hurt, comes back, and picked up right where he left off to finish the game.
Yeah, he was locked down that game. And then the guy I really was impressed by was Najee Harris. He was just running like a monster. He's bowling guys over. You know, he was looking really good. as he, Freight Train mentioned, he was knocking somebody over on the sideline, blowing through people. Just fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, naturally, I got to show some love to the safety position. Deshaun Elliott looked great. He looked like the complement at strong that we've been looking for to pair with Minkah. Made a great diving interception. Kept, played from the top down. Didn't let anybody by him. It's nice to see another safety other than Minkah Fitzpatrick doing that.
Yeah, he came down and made tackles too. Yeah, and like we said on the show, weeks and weeks ago, that Deshaun Elliott was going to be the most underrated signing of the offseason. And we're already getting dividends week 1. So
he looks great.
We're seeing Minkah look comfortable back there. You know what I mean? Like Minkah flew in on some plays, cleaned up some, but he had some pass breakups back there. I think that's why we didn't hear much of Minkah, because he was busy doing what we want him to do and taking guys in the passing game away and forcing the quarterback to make uncomfortable throws, which leads into more turnovers. So
yeah, you're going to see his pick numbers go up just because we're going to be able to do the things we were doing with him before when Edmonds was having a good season, where we're able to drop him down under and have him be a robber or have him play the deep middle just because we have another safety that can play that role now.
Nope, I agree. Yep. So
now that he doesn't have to play linebacker and safety too at the same time, he should be able to.
He doesn't have to be our leading interceptions guy as well as our leading tackler.
Yeah. So, all right, boys. Well, you guys want anything else to say? I know I just wanted to put out there, guys, stay tuned. Thursday night, 9:00. The Steelers Realm will give you the Denver Broncos pregame show. We'll give you who to watch for, who to look out for, some predictions. We'll give you an injury report for both sides, and tell you where to watch it, where you can see it. So I'm excited going into week 2. I will not be on that show. I will be off as I head to Atlanta, Georgia. I got to go to Atlanta, so I'm going to make sure I wear my Steelers garb down there. But I'll be in Atlanta for the next 5 weeks as I go to school to be a conductor for CSX. But I'm sure one of you two will be on with JT and TA. So until next time, I'll see you guys. Go Steelers.
Yeah.
Go
so
Steelers.
Freight Train, you'll be mocking Falcons fans for losing for us.
You know it. Loud and proud.
Okay, good.
Attaboy.
All righty. Well, you guys have a good night, and Steelers Nation, we'll catch you next time. Hijacker, play that funky music.
Yep, let's go. You ready to get out of here?
Yeah.
Check back next week into the Steelers Realm.